Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For anyone new here, my name is Zion and we talk about all things money. So I made a video not too long ago talking about how to build your credit score fast. And I listed all of these different ways that you can do it. So if you haven't checked out that video, you should definitely watch this video all the way through and then go ahead and check out that video. But another way that some people can actually increase their credit scores is by becoming something called an authorized user. And so if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how you can boost your credit score by becoming an authorized user, or if you are considering about adding an authorized user to your current account, then go ahead and hit that like button down below because it's going to allow this video to get out to a lot more people who are also interested in the same things that you're interested in. And also hit the subscribe button because there's going to be a lot more content like this one. All right, guys, let's get to the video. So I'm going to break this video into two parts. I'm first going to start by talking about people who are actually interested in adding an authorized user to their account. And then I'm going to talk about people who are interested in becoming an authorized user. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pros and the cons and specific things to consider. An authorized user is someone who actually gets added to the account of a primary card holder in order to kind of adopt the same sort of credit behaviors of whoever that primary account holder is. And so in turn, by becoming an authorized user, if you choose the right account, you can actually boost your credit score. So what should you consider if you are the primary account holder and someone is asking you to become an authorized user to your account? The first thing to consider is that as the primary account holder, you can either issue your authorized user a credit card or you don't have to issue the authorized user a credit card. If you do issue the authorized user a credit card, you should note that you are legally responsible for any activity that the authorized user does to your account or does with the credit card. For example, if I'm the primary account holder and I let my younger sister become the authorized user to my account, if my younger sister goes out and spends $10,000 on a shopping spree, she's not legally responsible to pay that money back. I am. However, if I don't issue her a card whatsoever, she doesn't have access to the actual account. She just sits on my account as an authorized user. And that's another thing. It doesn't adversely affect your account as the primary card holder if the authorized user A doesn't have access to a credit card, but B has access to the credit card but uses it very responsibly. And so let's say you're a parent and you want your child to start learning how to build credit. What you can do is add them as an authorized user to your account. Now, depending on that credit card, the minimum age tends to be anywhere between 13 and 16 years of age. So you can add them as an authorized user and you can issue them a credit card and you can say, hey, look, here's your credit card. You are able to spend $10 a month every single month on this credit card, but you're also responsible for paying it back. So whether that's you giving them allowance and they have to in turn save $10 from their allowance to pay their credit card bill, or if they're 16 years old and they are allowed to start working, they can also take $10 from their paycheck and start paying that money back every single year. But the one thing to note is that whatever they spend, it still contributes to your overall balance, your credit balance every single month. So you really want to pay attention and make sure your utilization rate definitely isn't going over 30%, but in order to build credit, but in general, what I like to teach is that you don't want your utilization rate to even go over 9 to 10%. Lower than 10 to 9% is the best range to have the best credit score. Lastly, I want to mention two more things. If you add someone as an authorized user and that person has really bad credit, it's not going to negatively impact your credit score as the primary card holder. And additionally, you want to make sure to call up your credit card company and ensure that they're going to report your credit activity to the bureaus for the authorized user. So reporting your credit card activity as if it were the authorized user's credit card activity to the credit bureaus. That's important and very essential because without that, it's not going to help the authorized user actually increase their credit score. If you're considering becoming an authorized user, there's a few things you should note. You're probably wanting to become an authorized user because you want to increase your credit score, or maybe your mom and dad just said, hey, I'm putting you in as an authorized user on this account. But in order to increase your score as an authorized user, you need to be able to join the right account. What I mean by that is, if you join an account of someone who is very irresponsible with their credit card, has a poor credit score, that's just going to negatively impact you. You want to make sure someone is really strong in these categories. A, you want to find an account that someone has consistently made on-time payments to their credit card. B, you want to find someone who has a really low utilization rate. I consider a low utilization rate anything 10% and under. If you're a little confused with what utilization rate is, then I'm actually going to go ahead and link a video right here where I explain to you guys how your FICO score is actually made. It's comprised of 5 different components. Thirdly, you want to make sure that someone has a very diversified credit mix. So someone who has multiple credit accounts. There's revolving credit and there's also installment credit. Revolving credit is any type of credit where your payments can be variable, such as a credit card. Installment credit, on the other hand, is any sort of payment where your monthly repayment is fixed, such as a mortgage or an auto loan. So finding someone who has multiple different types of credit, it's going to be a good person for you to be an authorized user on one of their accounts. You also want to see the length of time in which that they've had this account. You want to go on an account that's been open for 10 years versus an account that has been open for a year. And lastly, you want to see how often does this person get new credit. Now, that's kind of tricky, and I explained that in this video right here, that you want to balance applying for different credit cards every month because that is going to lead to hard inquiries, which in turn dip your credit score. But at the same time, credit bureaus want to see that you have been getting consistently new lines of credit, be it every year, every 6 months, and also having that diversified type of credit. Lastly, I want to say that becoming an authorized user does not give you access to change anything on that account. And also, becoming an authorized user doesn't hold as much authority as being a cosigner. And so the effect on your credit is going to be less as an authorized user than it would be if you were a cosigner. All right, guys, that is all for the video today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give me a big like down below, because once again, it really helps push this video out to more and more people. But also, it's a way of saying thank you. The way in which you can repay me for researching for hours for you guys is by hitting that like button, and of course, by hitting the subscribe button. All right, guys, that's all for today. Till next time, bye.